I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11. Volunteer in court for an abused child like Brian.
My name's Alonzo Portlock, and I'm 3 years old. And I'm sitting on the front steps. My brother and I were waiting for my mother to come out and take us to the beach. So our mother's inside the house doing what she normally does. You know, she's probably getting high, but we're waiting for her on the steps. And all of a sudden, this woman comes out of the house and just stabs me in the back 4 times. After that, I don't remember anything. You know, I just blacked out. I'm 8 years old. My mother's still using the drugs and everything. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she decides, I don't want to be a mother anymore. Because now it's like, now what? Now what do we do? 30 minutes later, I'm in the system. I'm institutionalized now. That was real tough. That was real tough for me.
Hi, my name is Pamela Butler, and I am 6 years old. We've been traveling in the car for quite some time now, and it's cold. And tonight we'll be sleeping in the back of a U-Haul, and we don't have any blankets. And I don't know when we'll eat. Now I'm 7 years old. My mom just woke me up. She's yelling and running around and grabbing all of our stuff and grabbing my sister and myself. All my mom kept saying was, the cops are coming, the cops are coming. We ran outside, and she told me to hide under one of the cars. So I crawled underneath one of the cars in the parking lot, and I heard the cops come and the sirens and yelling, and they're grabbing my mom and arresting her and my stepfather, and they've got my sister, and everyone's yelling, and then the cop like crawls under and grabs me out and puts me in the back of a police car, and I watched as my mom faded away.
I want to say it again, it's court-appointed special advocates, and there are so many of us out there that maybe aren't in a position to take in foster children. You can't do that, but you can become a CASA volunteer, and what happens is you sign up, you go through a training program, you become a special person, an advocate for a child like this. And you have the ability as a friend of the court, as the eyes and ears of the judge, to step up and advocate for this young man. And that's exactly what CASA is all about.
JT had been in the system pretty much since birth. And I got him at, he had just turned 2, and the adoption didn't go through until about 3.5 years later, so he was 5.5 by the time the adoption went through. And throughout that time, we had a CASA volunteer who actually knew him from the time he was an infant. And then she stayed with our case all the way until the adoption. And that was wonderful, because that was one person who could tell where he's been, what had been on in his life. This is a person who could say, this child has gone through this, this, and this, has been in multiple homes. This child has, you know, been bounced dead, and this is what he needs, you know, and it was great. She's kind of like an unbiased partisan, so she would go to courts and say exactly what she would see at home. Then when she'd come visit our home, she would report back to the courts to say exactly how things were going in our home. And it was just really nice to have that, because, you know, you're with you, and then the parents have their workers, and it's nice to have that extra set of eyes and ears that could tell the courts what's really going on. And they listen to the CASA workers. She always testified at court. She was at every court date. You know, she went to every meeting, and she was always calling to see how he was doing and updated, ask about his school reports, IFSPs when he was under 3. And it was a great support to have that, having another person on the case, especially our case was very challenging and so long-lasting.
I'm glad I met my CASA, because I don't have to live that life. I don't. A lot of people live that life because they have to, but I don't have to because I have an option. I have a CASA that I didn't have before, because when you're in these foster homes, you get lost. So I didn't feel alone. I felt like there was somebody there. There was someone there that wasn't there before.
To me, my CASA means a trusted friend, an advocate, a voice. Because when you're young, no one listens to you. They really don't, especially in the foster care system. So for that, she's been everything, like the light at the end of the tunnel. But she's the highlight of my life. She was my friend. I didn't really have anybody. To give a child a CASA is to give them a voice, and to give them a voice is to give them hope, and to give them the hope is